After the show, Sophia stepped out of the studio. Instead of leaving the radio station, she wandered around the premises as if waiting for someone. After a while, her wait ended. She saw Noura approaching. Noura noticed her too and stopped nearby. "You haven't left yet?" Noura asked, shaking hands. "I was waiting for you." "For me? Why?" "I had asked you for a favor," Sophia said, slipping her hand back into her pocket, trying to recall. Then she remembered. "Oh, right, I asked about a place." Sophia wasn't very social. She kept a small circle, people she casually called home. Noura was one of them. They weren't best friends, but working at the same place had built a comfortable familiarity. "Did you find a place for me?" Sophia asked hopefully. "No, Yar. I talked to my fiancé, John, asked him to check with real estate agents, but nothing fit your budget." The reply felt like cold dew on her fragile hope. "I've been to so many agencies myself," Sophia said quietly. "Either there's nothing available or it's out of my range. And on top of that, my notice period is about to end." "I understand how stressful this is," Noura said gently. "I'll let you know the moment something comes up," she added. Sophia nodded and smiled politely, but inside, the worry only grew. Sophia hosted a radio show from 7 to 8 in the morning. From 9 to 5, she worked in a call center. Being a radio RJ was her passion, but passion alone doesn't pay the bills. It's easy to say, follow your heart, chase your dreams. But when dreams can't cover rent, bills, and groceries, you're forced to choose survival over passion. You take up work you may not love just to keep the stove burning. As an unknown RJ on a private channel, Sophia's salary wasn't enough to manage rent and bills and still save. She needed a second job. Luckily, she was good with words, and that skill served her well in both places. Her combined income was decent. Even after expenses, she managed to save a little. Still, she wasn't wasteful. Hard-earned money was spent carefully. Her social circle was tiny, almost non-existent, and she didn't really wish to expand it. Sophia wasn't an iron lady. She was just a simple girl, neither bitter about reality nor hopeless about dreams. She was simply content with herself. Every morning she left home for the radio station. After the show, she went straight to the call center. By the time she returned home, evening had already settled in. She liked this busy routine. She lived alone in a small two-room house with minimal furniture. By the time she cooked dinner and ate alone, the night grew deep. And the next morning, once again, there she was, on air. Cheerful, alive behind the mic. I believe that no matter how broken we are inside, we should never let the world see it. People aren't interested in our sorrows, and where there is no value, sharing pain only insults us. Sophia spoke calmly into the microphone. Daniel was listening carefully. He agreed with every word. After listening to her for an hour, Daniel left the cafe and got into his car, a gray Corolla. He had borrowed it specially from a showroom. The owner knew Max and handed it over easily. Whenever Daniel had to meet a wealthy client or take someone on a site visit, he borrowed this car. He never went on his bike. Same land, same disguise. Driving smoothly, he soon reached his destination. It was a tall glass building with Allison Groups written boldly on the front. The guards didn't stop his shiny car. It parked smoothly among several luxury vehicles. Before stepping out, Daniel checked his reflection in the rearview mirror. Gray jeans, white t-shirt, and a brown jacket. He looked confident. The expensive perfume he had sprayed before leaving still lingered. Satisfied, he stepped out and entered the building. As the sensors detected movement, the glass doors slid open. He walked firmly across the polished floor to the reception. "Yes, sir. How can I help you?" the receptionist asked politely. I'm Daniel. I have an appointment with Mr. Robert Smith. Just a moment, sir. After a quick call, she nodded. You may go, 6th floor. Daniel entered the elevator. As it rose, he took in the luxury around him, but kept his face calm as if he owned offices like this himself. Outside the elevator, he saw the nameplate, Robert Smith. He knocked, got permission, and entered. It was a spacious, modern office, a lavish seating area on one side, a desk on the other. The revolving chair turned toward him. Mr. Smith, nearly 60, sat there in a blued two-piece suit. Gray strands in his hair and beard spoke of time. His dark eyes held a strange stillness, as if years of secrets slept inside them. "Daniel?" he asked. Daniel nodded and shook his hand. "Please, have a seat." "Thank you for giving me your valuable time, sir." "I had to," Mr. Smith said calmly. "The way you spoke on the phone, it caught my interest." "May I ask why you're interested in my bungalow?" he asked directly. "Because I like challenges," Daniel replied calmly. "And because after completing a challenge, a heavy commission sounds even better," Mr. Smith added smoothly. Daniel was stunned. The man read him perfectly. "There's nothing free in this world," Mr. Smith continued. "If someone helps me, they expect something in return. And that's not a bad thing. It's a fair deal." Daniel was impressed. "So tell me," Mr. Smith asked, "what do you expect?" "Commission," Daniel replied honestly. Mr. Smith appreciated the straightforwardness. "I've tried selling this bungalow through almost every agent in the city," he said. "Offered huge commissions, but no one could close the deal. After so many failures, I had given up hope. Then you came. And my arrival will benefit you," Daniel said confidently. Mr. Smith smiled. "And what will that benefit cost?" "Let me prove myself first," Daniel said wisely. "Then we'll decide the price." Mr. Smith studied him with interest. "If you succeed," he said finally, "the check will be mine, but the amount will be yours. That's my promise." Daniel felt a surge of pride, but kept his composure. "I must say, you're a very wise man," Daniel said. "You saved us both time." "Wisdom comes after wasting a lot of it," Mr. Smith replied. "And you seem intelligent too. If you came this confident, you must have a strong strategy." "I do." "Then first, I want you to see the bungalow yourself. When can we go?" "Now." The white Fortuner moved steadily, clean roads surrounded by greenery. Daniel and Mr. Smith sat in the back seat. Daniel had never been here before. The place was quiet, wrapped in hills and trees. The road climbed slowly, twisted, straightened, and then the car stopped. They had arrived. Daniel stepped out and froze. The one-canal white bungalow stood apart, elevated, surrounded by walls. A rusted iron gate stood at the entrance. Beside it, a withered gulmohar tree stood lifeless. A dusty plaque read, 396, a gift to my love. Mr. Smith unlocked the heavy gate with difficulty. Together, they pushed it open. Inside, the lawn was abandoned. A once beautiful swing lay rusted and broken. They entered the house. Dust, silence, decay. "This is where my daughter Bella burned herself alive," Mr. Smith said coldly. Daniel's blood ran cold. The burn marks, the smell, the floor, everything made sense. "I couldn't return here after her death," Mr. Smith said quietly. "I left this house forever." Daniel swallowed hard. She loved a boy, couldn't bear his betrayal. Pain hid behind his calm voice. "Now tell me," Mr. Smith said suddenly, businesslike again, "how will you do what others couldn't?" "We'll talk outside," Daniel said. The house felt suffocating. On the balcony, surrounded by mountains and sunlight, Daniel explained his plan. "We need to clean and repair the place, but more importantly, people are afraid of it. And fear won't leave unless someone lives here," Daniel continued. "Give it on minimal rent to someone truly desperate. Once the house is alive again,
fear will fade. Then we sell it at the price you want." Mr. Smith stared at him. "And where will we find such a desperate person?" Daniel smiled faintly. "The world is full of them." "You're being selfish, Daniel," Max snapped. "How?" Daniel shot back. "Putting someone's life at risk for money? Isn't that selfish?" "If you have the money to clear my debts, give it to me," Daniel said bitterly. Silence. "The world only gives free advice," Daniel continued, "not help. This bungalow will change my life," he said with conviction. And deep down, he was right. Life was about to change. Some decisions are called final. No matter how much someone tries to stop you, scare you, threaten you, or argue with you, those decisions never change. Daniel was a man who always stood by such decisions. He contacted every real estate agent he knew, especially those working in remote and neglected areas. He tempted them with commission and gave clear instructions. If they came across even a single client who was in desperate need of a house, they were to send them straight to Daniel's estate. For now, none of them had such a desperate client. Still, everyone agreed, easy money never bothers anyone. At the moment, finding tenants was not Daniel's first priority. The bungalow itself needed to change first. It had to be transformed from mysterious to irresistible. He arrived at the bungalow with a few cleaners. This time, Mr. Robert Smith was not with him. Still, every repair and renovation bill was in Mr. Smith's name. Daniel unlocked the heavy iron gate. The 5 boys who had come with cleaning tools stood behind him, staring at the bungalow in silent shock. Even in broad daylight, the place felt unsettling. The iron gate creaked open. Daniel glanced back at them briefly, but they seemed frozen, eyes fixed on the building. "Come on, let's go inside." Daniel's deep voice brought them back to their senses. They followed him in. Even after stepping inside, their eyes wandered everywhere, stunned by what they saw. They were not from this area. Daniel had intentionally hired people from faraway places, people who knew nothing about the stories linked to this bungalow. Yet the bungalow itself seemed to whisper its tale. "All right, get to work," Daniel said, stopping in the middle of the hall. The boys, lost in observation, startled and nodded quickly before moving in different directions. Daniel stood there for a while, then walked away to pass the time. When he had come here earlier with Mr. Smith, he hadn't paid attention to the smaller details. Now he felt an urge to see the piano, the very sound that had become a symbol of fear in this house. He entered the study room. His steps slowed as he reached the piano. He brushed his hand over it, clearing a thin layer of dust. His reflection appeared on the black surface. This house often echoes with the sound of a piano. Max's voice surfaced in his mind. The black and white keys lay exposed, the fall board was lifted, as if someone had been playing and suddenly walked away. Dust covered the keys. Daniel pressed a white key with his index finger. It didn't move. It felt stiff. Surprised, he pressed the next one. It sank. A deep, heavy note echoed through the room. Daniel pulled his hand back in shock. He had pressed a bass key. The low note thundered through the silence, making it even more terrifying. He scanned the room to steady himself. His eyes stopped at a painting hanging on the wall behind the piano. The frame was nearly 3 feet wide and 4 feet tall, impossible to miss from any corner of the room. Daniel was looking at the painting, and someone was looking at Daniel. In the painting, a young woman sat at a piano, playing. Only her back was visible. Her face was turned away. She wore a red gown with a wide, flowing skirt. Her honey-colored hair lay open, reaching just above her waist. For a brief moment, Daniel wished the artist had painted her from another angle so he could see her face. Suddenly, something moved swiftly behind him. Startled, he turned around. There was no one, nothing but him and lifeless, beautiful objects. Then what was that? Probably just his imagination, he decided. Shaking off the thought, he walked away. Behind him, the same piano key pressed itself, on its own. The same heavy note echoed again. Then, absolute silence. The cleaners were scattered, busy in different parts of the house. One of them was a boy named Tony. Holding a large broom, a cloth draped over his shoulder, he stood in the only room on the upper floor. He had come to clean, but instead, he was examining everything. He had never seen such a grand room or such furniture before. Curiosity got the better of him. The room, decorated in white and pink, clearly belonged to a girl. Dust had claimed every corner. He finally began working, wiping dust off the white sofas. Suddenly, a pen slid off the writing table on its own and fell to the floor. Startled, he stepped closer and bent to pick it up. His eyes drifted under the bed, to the other side. He froze. Someone was standing there. Black feet were visible. He straightened up instantly. There was no one. He sat there for a few moments, shaken and confused. Was it just his imagination? To be sure, he slowly bent down again, heart pounding. Under the bed sat a strange black shadow. It stared at him with white eyes, eyes without pupils, and growled. The sight was so terrifying that he couldn't even scream. Before he could stand up and run, the shadow lunged forward and grabbed his throat. Daniel was examining the paintings mounted along the hall walls. They were all covered in dust. One thing stood out. All of them were hand-painted artworks. Perhaps a painter once lived here, or maybe someone had a taste for collecting paintings. Every painting reflected sadness and loneliness. A wilted flower, a yellow dying season, a caged bird. Who decorates a home with such sorrow? Suddenly, a terrified scream echoed through the house. Daniel spun around. The other boys rushed into the hall, confused. The sound was coming from upstairs. They all ran up. Inside the room, Tony sat on the floor, clutching his throat, coughing violently as if he couldn't breathe. "Tony, what happened?" the boys asked, panicked. Tony couldn't speak. He just gasped, holding his neck. "Get water, now!" Daniel ordered. One boy ran out. The others tried to calm Tony, desperate to understand what had happened. "As soon as I bent down again, it grabbed my throat," Tony whispered, trembling. The others grew pale. They all sat in the hall now. Tony huddled on the sofa, shaking. Daniel stood in front of them, arms crossed. "So you're saying you saw a ghost?" one boy concluded nervously. "Enough. There's no such thing as ghosts. These are just stories," Daniel snapped. He didn't believe in any of it. "No, sir. Ghosts are real. My mother says." "I'm not interested in what your mother says," Daniel cut him off sharply. "This was just fear and imagination, nothing else." "No, sir. I wasn't imagining it," Tony insisted, his voice trembling. "It really was a ghost." Daniel glared at him. Silence fell over the hall. "You have 5 minutes," Daniel said firmly. "Either get up and continue cleaning or return the advance and leave. I'll give this job and the money to someone else." The boys, who had been terrified of a ghost, now looked at the man before them, a man who felt far more merciless than any ghost ever could. "To be continued,"